Hello, this is Shayla, and today I have a guide for a build called Time-On-Target Templar. This build specializes in sustain and survivability. So let's get into it. So the initial idea of this build is to have a sword and board spec that is good for long battles. As I stated before in my Ret guide, Ret is very explosive, it does a lot of damage. However, if the fight goes over 30 to 40 seconds, you start to go and you have problems. So this build is a direct counter to that issue. So we do have good damage, but we also have fantastic sustain. So what you want is a very fast one-hand weapon with an on-hit effect. I'm using the Hikari Manslayer and a Skull Flame Shield. So it has an effect where it leeches health from your target. It's also very fast. It's like a 2-second weapon swing. And I'm using tier 2.5. It's like one of my favorite sets in the game. Now, the really important part is a special ring that I have equipped. It's called the Ring of Electrical Binding. What this ring does is it gives your Seal of Wisdom a third tick. When you combine this with Seal of Righteousness, you start to get crazy mana returns. So the whole idea is your Holy Lights no longer are super expensive because you're passively regenerating mana like crazy. Another thing about this build is it is very, very, very good with fast weapons. I can't stress that enough. You can use two hands. However, I recommend using a one hand and a shield because it will give you more durability. Additionally, you need to know that your Seal of Light does not proc with the Ring of Electrical Binding. So that ring is not going to give you the desired effect, essentially. So let's get into the talents. We have Holy Judgment, which is super duper important. Again, it reduces your Holy Light cast time to 1.5 seconds. That's the same cast time as your Flash of Light. That Spiritual Focus is also important. So the cool thing about this is you can hard cast in your enemy's face. They can't do anything about it. When you're casting 2,000 HP heals and there's no pushback, I mean, you're basically immortal. Add on top of that the crazy mana regen and some decent damage from your on-hit effects, and it's unbelievable. I can't wait for you guys to see it in action. So going into Ret, we take the traditional Ret talents. However, we do not take any of the two hands. So we do not go Seal of Command because our primary seal is Seal of Righteousness. We spec into Seal of Improved Seal of Righteousness. And Eye for an Eye is super important. So when casters hit you and they crit you, you also get some damage back. So again, it adds into that sort of like tanky, beefy ethos to the build. So let's get into rotation. So you're going to start with Seal of Wisdom. You're going to Judge Wisdom, switch to Seal of Righteousness, Holy Strike to get your Holy Strength buff, and then you're going to start doing Crusaders. Now you're going to want to do 2 Crusaders and then switch back to Holy Strike because you're going to lose the Holy Strength buff. You want to keep that up. And then you just juggle Holy Strength and Seal of the Crusader. Now the cool thing is Seal of the Crusader reduces your weapon swing time, so 2 seconds turns into 1.7. Look at that mana regeneration. It's fantastic. The amount of mana you build while staying on your target is awesome, but the key thing is to stay on your target. In the duels, we'll get into in another video. We have to do a few parts to this. The original video was 46 minutes long. you want to stay on top of your target. If your target falls off of you or they get away from you, you no longer are regenerating mana, and if they're attacking you, you're forced into a defensive position, so you always want to stay on top of your target. Alright, so here I spent all of my mana, and we're going to see how fast it takes me to build it back up. So what I've done is I cast Seal of Wisdom, just like, you know, the traditional rotation, and then I recast Wisdom on myself. That's the Seal of Wisdom. So we judge Wisdom, and then we recast Seal of Wisdom. So I'm getting the swings from just hitting, and I'm also getting the swings from the judgment on my target. Now, it'll take you about 30 seconds, maybe 30 to 45 seconds, to get back to full mana if you do this. Also, I have put Blessing of Wisdom up. You don't have to. The mana regeneration is very strong otherwise, but if you can just see, like, it's quite a substantial amount of mana you're getting back. So again, this build does crazy damage. It does fantastic sustain, and it's great for off-healing because you constantly have Holy Judgment up. I think you guys will enjoy playing with this. It also has fantastic applications when it comes to PvE. So it allows you to solo content that normally isn't soloable by one player. And as an example, we'll switch over to Blackrock Depths here. I am going to get to the Black Forge. Since I'm a blacksmith, I have to go use the Black Forge. And usually you'd have to queue in a group to BRD, and it takes a while, and then you have to do the whole dungeon, yada, yada, yada. With this build, you can just, you know, skip through dungeons, you know, just choose a boss to do. I've done solo farms of Strath for Cloth and Holy Water by myself. I'm in Strath. I'm not the entire dungeon, of course, but just the, you know, the content I need. I think I did, what is it, Frost Siabi? I killed him once with this build. It was very difficult because he stuns, but it is possible. You can do crazy, crazy things with this setup. And in PvP, it is absolutely fantastic. But you're not Ret, so you can't play like a Ret. You have to go with your strengths. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Check out part 2 to see how this does in 1v1s. That's where it really shines. Have a good day. Peace.